So a lot of the times we hear the words patriotism and nationalism very frequently these days. And what do they exactly mean? Well, they boil down to two definitions. Nationalism is really in the terms of what a citizen can do for or in or think about their country, is that whatever their country does is the right thing, and that you should always be behind it. You should always support it. And so whatever your country does on the international stage, on the domestic stage, to its own citizens, to citizens of other countries, to countries themselves, it's right. It's right. I'm not saying they even might think it's good, right? Like, it's the right thing to do, and some might even say it's good, right? So that's nationalism. Nationalism is an undying sense of allegiance and a sense of moral superiority of your nation and for your nation. Now, patriotism is the good thing. You know, nationalism is they consider the bad thing, and patriotism is what they consider the good thing. Patriotism boils down to this definition. Now these aren't exact definitions. I'm not going on Google or Oxford Dictionary to find this. I'm just kind of going off of what I've learned so far and what I've experienced. Patriotism can be defined as yes, it's an allegiance to your nation, but it's an allegiance to your nation to make it better. It's an undying sense of wanting to make your nation better, recognizing the bad things your nation does, your state does, because really, you know, a nation is a collection of people. It is a certain people with shared ethnicity and customs, traditions, and maybe a language, you know. But we're kind of with shared values and customs. We are the nation of America, and then there's the state of America, the United States. A lot of people think, oh, you know, this United States is very separate from the actual nation of America, and it somewhat is for how it acts. It's you know, when you concentrate the power of more than 300 million people and a couple of individuals, even if that's, you know, 450 plus the 100 plus the executive branch plus the Supreme Court, and even all the state legislators, the governors, that's still not a lot of people. It's not a lot of representation. So even all that power is not necessarily going to be representative of the over 300 million people living in the United States. But now I'm kind of getting off topic. But patriotism, it is really it's the love of your country, but it's not the love of your country for the bad things it does. It's for what you think is the good things it does, and it's for you saying, this is bad, and we should rectify that situation. We should act differently for that situation. For example, a nationalist would say, oh, Donald Trump, the partisan government of the Senate, and the partisan government of the Senate right now, it's Republican controlled. Selling weaponry to Saudi Arabia. A nationalist would say, yeah, and they could justify that with saying, oh, it's helping give jobs to people in our economy, aerospace industry, steel manufacturing, they use metal, they use explosives, chemical factories, we're producing the product and we're selling the product to Saudi Arabia, even though Saudi Arabia is a horrible human rights abuser, women's rights abuser, and obviously women are human, so I'm not dividing the two. I'm just trying to create as many categories of disgusting things they do as they can. They chop the heads off of gay people. It's not a great country. It's not a great country, and they don't really care about the sovereignty of Yemen either, the Yemeni people, and they basically are causing a great conflagration in the nation of Yemen, in the nation of Yemen, not the state. There's really no state there, honestly, but because it's so contested by Saudi Arabia, and we're giving the weapons to Yemen. So a nationalist would say it's all good. Even if there is no justification for what their all good is, the only thing to say is, well, look, the only thing the nationalists need to say is, look, the United States is a great country. Whatever it does is fine. It's good. It's automatically good. And some nationalists might even say, and you're not a good American. You're not an American if you don't support everything America does. A patriot would say, I don't like what's going on. I don't like that we're selling weapons to a state that is a human rights abuser, that are murderers, that produced most of the terrorists that flew the planes into the Twin Towers, the two planes to the Twin Towers that caused the crash before one plane reached the White House, that bombed the I believe it was the FBI building. I'm just going off memory here. Like, Saudi Arabia is the evil state. And it's not just the past, it's the present. Right now Saudi Arabia is firing its artillery, is flying its jets that were US made, and they're taking out civilians. They're murdering civilians. They are committing acts against humanity, crimes against humanity right now. They're violating the Geneva Convention all over. And the nationalists, the majority of the Republican Party, sadly, except people like Senator Rand Paul, and this is where the Democrats are right. Okay, it's one thing to support a wing of your economy that's giving people jobs, but it's another thing to have that economy arm people who killed over 3,000 people in America and are killing civilians in Yemen right now, and chop off the heads of gay people, and our women's rights abusers, our human rights abusers across the board. They're evil. And I know that's a very I'm not sure if it was the Machiavelli, but there's good and bad, and then there's kind of good and evil, and the lower class reactionary individual says, oh, it's good and evil, but the intelligent, aristocratic, not aristocratic in terms of wealth, but in terms of knowledge, and like the philosopher kings and queens Socrates was talking about, Plato was kind of routing Socrates through his works, that I've lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about? Philosopher kings and queens, aristocrats. I have spaced it. Maybe I'll get back to it. But ultimately, what I'm saying is that patriotism is the way to go. Abraham Lincoln was a patriot. Okay, he wasn't a nationalist. And some might even go straight to that person saying, look at that, he was a unionist. He wanted to restore the nation state of the United States. He wanted to bring back the Confederate States. Yeah, but he also realized that we have some problems. We have one major problem. It's called slavery. And he became the emancipator. So that's a patriot right there. So it's usually if you're a very self-serving individual, you're probably a nationalist. you don't have time to care about other people, which is what a patriot would be. Patriots say, well, what's best for America? And by saying that, they're saying, what's best for every American person to succeed? And what's best for goodness and love and morality? And this is where, like, Trump's wrong to continue to allowing I know it's bolstering our economy and it's helping the aerospace industry, but is it worth the boost in jobs and wealth and GDP to go ahead and go, okay, let's give weapons, let's sell weapons. I mean, we're on the losing side of this. We give them weaponry, we give them material, like this keyboard is material, right? We give them this, this metal, this is material, right? And they give us, this is just like a little coupon I have on my desk, they give us paper, loads of it. No, maybe it's not even paper, it's just a digital transaction. Congratulations, we get pixels on a screen, and they get weapons to kill civilians. So that's a great deal for America. We get paper, and they get, material that they use to kill people. So, it's not even a great deal economically for America. We really should only be selling our weaponry that we produce to true allies. United Kingdom, France, Italy, Spain, real true allies. Israel, they're really the only true free democracy in the Middle East. I know that's gonna scare some Israel-hating people out there, but it's the truth. Go to Freedom House, freedomhouse.org. Let me see. I'm gonna Google it right now. Here we go. I'm gonna say freedomhouse.org. You can go to this too. You click on, you hover over, say, reports, freedom in the world. Go ahead and click on the MENA, and you'll see. Well, except for Cyprus, but that's really not Middle East. That's actually considered part of Europe. Saudi Arabia, 7 out of 100. Jordan and Lebanon. Jordan's 37 out of 100. Lebanon's 43 out of 100. These are yellow. I could kind of show you that, Maybe I'll go and edit it in later, or not. No, I'm not gonna edit it in. It's really not necessary. You do your own research. You look at this map yourself, and you can see. Oh, look, Israel is green. 79 out of 100. Saudi Arabia, 7 out of 100. So, you tell me who we should be selling weapons to. To terrorists and criminal scum? Saudi Arabia? That's Saudi Arabia right there. Or to people who actually have a democracy and are fighting for their very lives and existence as a state? Israel. Or people who will use the weapons to fight evil. Like, we're giving weapons to these murderers. I've really segued from the whole nationalist and patriotic talk, but it is related. So I think it should be clear now what's better. Patriotism is better than nationalism. Nationalism is not American. Okay? It takes a patriot to realize, back in World War II era, it takes a patriot in 1939 to say, Nazi Germany is evil, and our indifference to it will be the death of the world. That's Theodore Roosevelt talking right there. This is a long video. So I hope you can go out there and be patriots for the United States of America and fight for what's right. Alright? Fight for what's right. Don't fight for America. You can fight for America, but fight only in a way that says, I'm going to fight for that, so America can be right in every category by doing the right things, by being a right nation, by being a good nation. America will only be called good when the things they do and the things they are good. Alright, this is Luke Davis signing out. Thank you for watching.